Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am out in Oregon's Mount Hood territory. I am Dan Gehring. I am with Barb Iverson right now with Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm, and we are doing some Facebook Live activity out here in the beautiful tulip fields. Barb, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for coming out today, Dan.
Excellent. So we got a couple questions to start off. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in all of this.
Well, it depends how far you want to go back. But
let's try to keep it not a history lesson. Yeah.
So we started growing tulips in 1974, and we grew the tulips for a guy from Terre Haute, Indiana, and he grew them in the Willamette Valley because of the climate we have here. It's ideal. We're about 2 weeks ahead of Holland, and he could take the bulbs from here, go back to Terre Haute, Indiana, and force them for Christmas. Now, when he retired in the 80s, early 80s, my brothers bought the bulb stock but had no market. So my sister, myself, and some other in-laws got together and decided to start a small bulb company where we could help them out and sell their bulbs.
Wow.
That's kind of the beginning.
It started small, and now look at it now.
Our first year was actually in the field, what we call our north field right there. And we put a little PVC greenhouse at the end of the field and a wheelbarrow. We went out and we picked tulips and we sold them for $1 a bunch. And believe it or not, we had our first traffic jam out there. But it's a single lane road. But, we thought, maybe we've got something.
Wow.
And so since then, 33 years later, each year we just add something.
So, Barb, how many flowers do we actually have out here now? Can you estimate how many bulbs?
There's always one that asks, like you.
Of course,
Millions.
Millions. And so, kind of tell me a little bit, what do you do? First, we have the flowers come up and they pop. What's the next thing that happens when this starts happening?
Besides the agritourism part, if we go to the farming part, these tulips will all be topped. So we'll take the flowers off and take the seed pod off because we'll get a bigger bulb that way. In June, we'll dig every bulb out here. And then next October, we separate the bulbs and we store them for the summer on air. And then next October, we'll rotate our fields and we'll plant them in a new field. So next year it'll be a completely different look.
Well, that's great. So can you tell me a little bit about the flower? What about the flower here? You brought some samples, and I saw that there. Could you tell us what is the popular part of it? Is it the bulb that's what you sell the most of, or is it the actual cut flower?
Well, what we sell the most of really is the experience out here.
Ah, excellent.
People, when they come out here, they want to take some of that home. So we get a little bit of both. So our transition really from the gardener, as we started 33 years ago, our focus was the gardener and the bulbs. What we saw in the late 90s and early 2000 was those sales started to take a decline. And it was a worldwide, if you talk to them in Holland, they say the same thing, the bulb sales started to decline. So we thought, well, either if we're going to stay in business, we have to make some changes. So at that point, in about the mid-2000s, we started charging. And what we found when we started charging is we created value. Because all of a sudden we didn't have this free tulip field, you could come tromp around it. There must be something out there, they're charging for it. So, our attendance went up, and then what we saw is more and more people came out, and they brought their cameras and their kids, and they came out for the experience.
And so, that's what started the whole Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival?
Well, that's the Tulip Festival. The Tulip Festival actually started back in 1985, but the transition from Bulb Company to Tulip Festival kind of began in the early 2000s. Everything from the activities, the kids' activities. So my brother built this silly tube slide.
I actually remember the tube slide.
Yeah, and there was this line of kids wanting to go down the tube slides, and we thought, we should entertain the kids when they're out here, because then it gives the parents, they'll spend longer out here. Mm-hmm. The food started as a hot dog fundraiser for a Boy Scout troop, and they ran out of hot dogs, and the people were upset because they were hungry, and they wanted something to eat. So then we started serving food out here. So a lot of the things and activities we have out here from, the School of Hard Knocks that we found out, or it's hit us in the head and thought, we need to do that.
So I noticed that there's lots of activities up here for the kids to do. I also noticed that you kind of have a little cart here. Is this for the little guys?
So what we do is, this is what I call a soft touch. So we've got a lot of carts, we've got wooden shoes, we've got cutouts, ducky races, a lot of things that they kind of stumble on. You kind of come out here and explore. There's little pedal tractors, little pedal trikes, and you kind of stumble on them. You can put your kid in here, drag your kid all around the field, and it's something you're not going to find anywhere else. Just different things.
Well, I noticed one of the things I saw on our Instagram, at OMHT's Instagram feed, is that we got a lot of photographers who are tagging the pictures, and one of the most popular pictures, besides the early sunrises, is the pictures of the balloons. So when are the balloons out here? Because I noticed they're not out here.
Well, they're not right now, but believe it or not, he was out this morning.
Oh, was
So
he?
we had one out this morning. I thought, there's no way he's going to fly. It's going to start raining by 7 o'clock. He flew, and he got the basket in just before it started raining. So it's all weather dependent. So
Okay.
most of them are hobbyists, and they come out on weekends. Now, we do have a couple guys that will come out in tether, but again, it's all weather dependent. If it's raining or if it's too windy, they won't be here.
And they usually are. It's just an up and down experience. They're not.
the
They're
tether.
not launching from here.
But on weekends, you'll get a lot of them that come out and do the free flights. So I think last year we had, I don't know, 7 or 8 one morning, and they all came out and flew.
Well, one of the other things that comes out of this was that you also, because you were talking about diversifying what you were doing here, I also noticed that you are starting to sell wine, which I saw a bottle. So tell me a little bit about the wine experience here.
So we thought wine would be a good match out here. So in 2008, we planted a vineyard. So we've got this vineyard and a couple others. So we grow, this is an Albarino wine, and then we've got Pinot Noir, Maraschal Foch, Moscato, and this is actually a table grape. Then we make a sparkling Moscato.
And it's got an absolutely beautiful color. I'm just amazed at that color. So,
well, why don't we come back to it?
Actually,
because
no, she was mentioning something about this
so,
thing.
so when you come out for the experience, we charge $5 a person, $20 max per car, 12 and under free, but included in that is a free hay wagon ride back and forth. So we take you from the building here out to our windmill. So people just love to come out and ride on a hay wagon ride. And that was, again, one of those things that my sister wanted to add that, and I said, why the heck would anybody want to do a hay wagon ride? That's a fall activity, and it's full all the time.
Well, you know, one of the things is my experience is that I was a city boy, and a chance to ride on a wagon in the first place like that, a tractor, would have been an awesome experience for me because I never even came out into the countryside those first, 10, 15 years. My mom was just at home, so an experience like that is a great experience.
Well, you know, what we find is then we've got the pink tractor. We've got a pink tractor. It's a John Deere. And when we painted it pink, my dad had a fit because it was an old tractor that we used here for years. And that's extremely popular as well as an old John Deere D. And then behind us we've got an old orchard tractor. And you know, the number of kids that have sat on those things and gotten their picture taken is amazing.
That is great.
But when you talk about kids, though, boots.
Yes.
So out here, one of the things that you don't get for a city kid is
I'm wearing shoes.
especially a year like this. You know, we've had mud all year long.
Yeah.
And it's been a crazy season, but we'll see the kids just wallowing in the mud. Yesterday there were 3 of them. They had their shirts off, everything. All was left on really were their diapers, and the mom was left.
Free mud bath.
Free mud bath.
So we were back
Wine.
at the wine. So you have multiple wine, and that's sold right here.
That's sold right here on site. We're pretty exclusive here. We keep our supply down so that we don't have to go through a distributor. So it's grown here. The Moscato, if I could remember who we won the award from, I'd tell you, but I can't. But it's really good, and it's good in the morning. It's got a sparkle. It's kind of like a champagne.
Okay.
We have a sparkling Albarino as well. The grapes, it makes great mimosas, cremosas. So cranberry juice or pineapple juice with it.
That sounds amazing.
It's really
I
good.
also noticed you got a unique sippy cup
Well,
there.
our sippy cup. So we have a wine wagon farm tour. So we do a farm tour out here. Give you a little more history of the farm, tell you the other crops that we grow.
Here, I'll hold this while you show
our
that.
big complaint last year was my wine spilled as we're driving along on the bumpiness. So we came up with these sippy cups that you put the wine in, and then it doesn't spill on your trip.
That's great, Barb. We got some people that want to pass through. Let's
through.
come on through.
Okay.
See, look, we got young, we've got the older, we got the wonderful, beautiful people that are just out here, and the future coming. Yes, exactly. Okay, so they get a wine experience, and that's pretty amazing. What else do you have? Is there any other unique experiences, or is this just...
Well, you know, the big experience, of course, is the flowers and the color and the vividness, and you know, it's just it's kind of breathtaking, especially right now.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk about different things. So we have our muddy cow train ride this year. So it's barrels with cow heads on it, and we take them out and we run that thing around, and it's kind of a bumpy
and they're
ride.
bumping right
They're
along.
bumping right along. Yeah. And then of course, food. So one of the other things we have out here, and I'll pass this on to you, is food. So we talked about food earlier.
Oh my.
Here you go.
Now see, one of the things Jared always gets all in all his other experiences, he gets to go to all the food places, and I was like, I get to go see the flowers, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Barb's surprising me, there's some food. Now what do we got here?
Well, he's got several kinds. This is probably a bratwurst. He's got a fricadelle wurst. Actually, he makes 32 different kinds of sausages, and that's Mount Angel sausage in Mount Angel that we work with. And their sausages are amazing.
And so they're all local vendors and everything for that.
Yeah, it's a local guy that does
That's
this.
amazing. I'm
you
going to take a bite. I'm going to take a bite out of this. Oh my, oh my. I gotta not take such a big bite next time I'm live. Barb, you gotta fill in for me. I gotta finish swallowing this.
No, the food is amazing.
Oh, wow.
And then you got the stuff for the kids, the elephant ears, the kettle corn, all that kind of stuff as well.
Well, that's great. So how long is the festival going for right now, as far as we know?
We were going to close on April 30th. However, we're having a late season. Unlike last year when we were almost finished at this time, the flowers have held. We've got new varieties that are still tight bud that haven't bloomed yet. So we're going to extend it to May 7th.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So May 7th. And one of the things that I was here last year where we had all the flowers out as well. And when we came in at this time, it was amazing how many flowers had already lost their tops and everything. But there is not a problem about all the tops out here today. And you were saying in the farther field, there's some that are still popping?
Still, yeah, we've got a variety called Sky High Starlet that's yet to open, and Portofino is still just starting to open right now.
Well, that's amazing. One of the things is that this festival isn't your only event. So you've got some other events coming up. What else do you got coming up?
Well, we work with Field and Vine. It's another one. We do dinners out here. That's with, you know.
Yeah, no, my brain.
Pascal.
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 Yes, there we go.
From West Lynn. He comes out. He does, what, 30-some Field and Vine events. Excellent. And ours is coming up June 3rd. Okay. And so we have that. The other big one we've got coming up is the Eclipse. So we're in the path of totality here. So we actually are going to offer camping here as well as live music. Of course, we have our wine, we've got beer. And then what our idea is,
more brats.
More brats. We'll have food out here. We're working with some hot air balloons. And the other idea is while you're here, enjoy the country and go to the other farms on the farm loops. Because there's a lot of those are planning activities too. Not all of them are in the totality, but it gives you something to do while you're here.
Excellent. And one of the things that Barb already has on her website, she already has some of the information about the eclipse coming up as well. Yeah. We'll be also on Oregon's Mount Hood territory. We'll also be featuring Barb and her stuff as well on the website. So we'll be having that up here soon. So we'll have lots of activities there. Plus you'll have all these farms. Will you have kind of a map or something that'll help you get them around?
Yeah, idea is to have a map, kind of a passport, show you what the other farms are doing and what there is to do. A close one here from here is Markham Hill alpacas.
Alpacas,
yeah,
awesome. So did you have a question?
Yeah, so what are your hours for the winery and the dates for the eclipse?
So the dates of the eclipse were the 19th through 21st, 18th through 21st. We're offering camping. We'll have a dinner. We have a milk can dinner out here on Saturday night. Sunday night will be a pig roast, and hopefully some astrology classes on Sunday night as well as Sunday morning. We'll have great glasses to give out from Mount Hood territory.
Yes.
Eclipse glasses.
Eclipse glasses, so you'll be able to see.
There's already demand for that.
Excellent.
I've heard that.
So also in the fall, we have one other big activity that comes out here, right?
Well, not really. No.
We're not going to do pumpkins this year?
We're not doing. We have a pumpkin patch, but we've kind of slid out of the pumpkin event. Fur Point over there, they do a great job.
Well, let's throw in a pitch for Fur Point Farms. They'll be doing a lot of the pumpkin patch.
They do a great. They've got a lot of our old equipment over there. They've got cows and paintballs, things like that.
Great. Yeah. So Barb, what's the way to get a hold of you guys? So the best way is on the website. And what's the web address?
It's woodenshoe.com.
Woodenshoe.com.
You can go on there. You can see the activities we have going on, as well as we do a field report on there. It's updated daily. It gives pictures of the field and what it looks like now.
And do you have do you have an Instagram account where you have everyone doing your pictures?
Yeah, we have an Instagram account, Wooden Shoe Farms, and then Wooden Shoe Farms. And then Facebook, of course.
And Facebook.
And there's, right now you talked about photographers. Amazing number of pictures from different photographers.
Yeah, we do feature a lot of those on the Oregon Mount Hood Territory Instagram account as well on the Facebook account. So keep your eyes open on that. Barb, thank you so much for your wonderful experience. And I hope everyone understands that there's lots of things to do in Oregon's Mount Hood Territory. First of all, there's these beautiful flower fields like this. Lots of activities. It's not just about the mountain. It's also about all the agriculture that we have, the farms that you are going to be connecting with for the eclipse. There's activities in Lake Oswego and the arts area. There's all kinds of activities in Oregon's Mount Hood territory. And we want to thank you guys for paying attention for our Facebook Live. And thank you again, Barb.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.
Thanks for coming out.
Take care.